What is going on, guys? It is your boy Sesso here, bringing you guys a cool little Photoshop slash 4D tutorial here today. Bringing you guys a cool little 3D, kind of like, almost like it's more of like an informational video, if I'm being like completely honest. It's just really showing you guys how to kind of separate from maybe like just being a simple like banner over text kind of thing. So I kind of call it like interactive 3D manipulation, kinda, because that's kind of what I'm going for today. It's just like something like this is really, really cool, right? It's just really, really fun, really, really cool to see, just because it's not like, you know, always done. It's not always, you know, a 3D text, like, kind of like, you know, played into the theme of what the picture is in the background, or the gameplay is in the background, whatever it may be, because it's usually just always like a, you know, 3D text above something, or just like a 3D text plus a background. I kind of want to just show you guys like these little simple tips and tricks on how to like kind of give you guys like a really cool perspective on your banner design, and kind of like take control and just make it more fun, and like, you know, kind of like give it some more time into it. So something like this is going to be learned today. Very, very simple kind of stuff here, but it's just not this as well. Even something like really this. I did nothing to this banner design. Really didn't do anything at all besides put like a brightness and contrast on it. But just like something like this is super simple as well, right? Let's say you just were just like really, really stuck. I want to do like this banner design. I don't know what to start with. I kind of want to do 3D, and you kind of want to have text like in like the picture of like some kind of background. I don't know what map this is, but it's obviously Overwatch, but I don't remember what map this is. But like, you know, it's just a little cool little map thing, like a little map trick, I guess you would say, is like, you know, you see a roof, right? In your mind, you're probably like thinking it's just a, you know, it's just a roof or whatever. But like maybe if you wanted to try and just do like a 3D text on the roof, it wouldn't be a bad idea as well, you know what I mean? So I'm just trying to like show you guys like, these little simple things you can do. Let's see, I have something else, like something like this. I just have another screenshot. I have like a, you know, I have my media open, like the media open for like Overwatch and stuff. But if I just took like a screenshot in here, let's just put it over here. You know, something like this would be pretty fun too, right? So like you just kind of see this little scenery area. This is just, I got it from like Google. Really I got it from like the site itself, under the gallery, under pictures and stuff like that. But realistically, you probably just go under Google, try to find a little picture, right? And maybe you run across something like this, and like you see like Pioneer Hotel. Like what I'm trying to make you guys think about is like kind of having like control of the banner design. Try to give yourself you know, give yourself that interaction in the banner design that some people just love to see, including myself. So like, you know, maybe if we just got rid of like Pioneer Hotel and kind of like, you know, replace it with like a 3D text, like how I did like right here, but just like put that on top of here. Oops. You know, on top of here. You could even make a material that goes with this. All you have to do is really find, like, you know, if it was in this case here, you had this like wooden like this wooden kind of like plate kind of thing. Like, I don't know how you would call it, like wooden panel or something like that, right? You'd like type in like wooden panel texture or something like that in Google, find something that kind of relates to this, and then you can color code it in like Cinema 4D, all that stuff. You just kind of make it look somewhere around like this color, but not too much, because you obviously want the text to pop out, and like do something like that as well. And like getting rid of stuff is very, very, you know, it's not too hard and too difficult when it comes to text like this, especially if it's on something that's not textured. But if you were even trying to get rid of like something like this, like with text, it's not ideal. Not the best way to do it, but just really quickly, just showing you guys like the patch tool. If you guys never use the patch tool, all you would have to really do is kind of like circle what you want to get rid of. Like, I want to get rid of this text here, right? And of course, I know that this is under, I kind of like just didn't even go around it that well. I know that this like text is like over a like a, you know, texture, so it's gonna be really hard for me to get rid of, like, you know, correctly and whatnot. But it's just like a little simple trick. This is kind of like, you know, maybe get yourself started in removing it, or just like seeing what happens or what it looks like when you remove it. The patch tool, if you go around what's selected and then just kind of like move it to a spot where it's empty, something like this, and then it kind of like just, you know, patches it up. Obviously it's not ideal, it's blurry, it's not straight, it's not like, you know, the perfect, you know, thing, you know, but it works, you know, it just works to get rid of it and kind of like start, you know, thing. I don't know. So it's just really cool to just try things like that. And now if I just zoom out, you know, if I were to fix it, I would fix it. You know, I would go about that and just try my hardest, try to like make it look as perfect as possible. But then you have kind of like something like a clean little slate, right? And then technically you're gonna have like your text being in front of this like stuff here. So if you kind of like angled it and kind of like, you know, angled it so the text is like perfectly horizontal with this like little line right here, things like that are just really, really fun. And if you guys are wondering how you would do that, it's not too difficult actually. So if you guys just want to really know how to do that, or something like this really quickly, right? Something like this, just how to angle your text. Really, really simple to do that. Pretty much all you would have to do is go to your Cinema 4D, and you would find your screenshots. So I already have my screenshots set in here. Where is it? Okay, I found it. That was more difficult than it needed to be. Just gonna double click on this. All right, so pretty much like this picture right here, right? Let's just say you found this picture and you said like, hey, I want to angle my text like on this roof. The easiest way to do it without like, you know, like trial and error and stuff like that. If you guys don't know this little simple trick, it's been around for a while in like the community that I was in, Call of Duty and stuff like that. So pretty much all you would have to do is set yourself up with a background image, and that's located under where your floor tab is in Cinema 4D, and pretty much just click background, and then all you really have to do is go to create, new material. You see all my attempts and stuff like right here. I'm just gonna delete those so you guys don't get mixed up. That's my HDRI. So yeah, just make a new material, right click, or create new material, double click on that new material, and pretty much you could just go to color, right, where it's already highlighted and selected, go under texture and just press load image. And then all you would have to do is just find your image, and when you find your image, it should be like right here for me, right there, open, right, and I just press no. And then pretty much as you find your image, you're gonna just basically select the material and drag it on the background, and it's just that simple. Now, it's gonna be very odd if you're like really new to this kind of stuff. You really don't use background imaging and stuff like that, and like it's just really awkward because like you expect to, when you move your camera, for like the entire thing to move, like, you know, the picture to just be 3D in your brain. That's kind of how it works, but that's not what's gonna happen. You're just only be moving the orientation of like the field in Cinema 4D. So stuff like that, it's gonna get used. You just gotta get used to it basically. But pretty much all you would have to do is now you just go to your text, right, your MoGraph, MoText or whatever, and let's say you typed in, you know, text. I'll just type it in a bigger. And pretty much all you have to do is just like move it with your, you know, simple orientations, your greens and your reds and your blue arrows. And pretty much if you just want to rotate it, go to your rotation tool and kind of just like play with it, right? So I'm just gonna play with it and just like say like that is kind of where I want to have it or something like that, right? You can give the text more depth if you wish to. Just think about like kind of like, you know, what you really like. I don't know, like I want to line it up pretty well. This is lined up pretty well because I know if you go up to the top, it's just at a very, very huge like perspective angle where this is like, you know, more wider than this. So it's kind of like, you know, one of those things, just kind of trial and error, and usually like maybe stick it more toward the right side where it's bigger, so that way it doesn't look too awkward. But something like this, if I just rendered it out, right, it doesn't look, you know, good yet. You know, it just depends. It's because this is not like post and something like that. It's just a regular render with nothing on it, no materials on it. But you know, something is like this, right? No materials on this as well, but it's just like something regular, and you can see where you go, like you can go with this. Like I don't have any like, you know, color on this or whatnot, but if like I did, it would look a little bit better, and like I can just like work around with it more. But like right now it's just a bland thing, but it's a very cool start, you know. I just have objective, you know, whatever. I don't know. I just could have typed in anything right there, but it's just like a really cool idea. So if you guys want to do that, that's about how I went about with this. Something like this though is pretty cool as well. So pretty much I'll just do the same thing, right? I'm using the background again. I'm just gonna go ahead and go to here, go to here, select a new picture right here, and pretty much I'm gonna find that that Rocket League one. Rocket League picture, here it is, just like that. Press yes, or no, I didn't meant to press no, but it doesn't really matter anyway. Pretty much just like that, right? So this is the other picture I have here, right? So all I'm gonna do is just go to MoGraph, MoText, and we're just gonna type in the word Cesso. And we're going to use a cool font, maybe like something that looks Rocket League-y, if that makes any sense. Maybe this one. Oh, no. This one right here. MoveX. Yes. Bold, though. There we go. All right, so my depth is going to be pretty good. I'm going to put it at like maybe 65 or so. And pretty much all I'm going to do is really just like make it a little bit more bigger. And I'm going to obviously split up these letters in a second. And we'll just make it a tiny bit more depth, like 155. Is that good? I think that's good. And pretty much I'm just going to angle it so you can see more of the depth here. I'm moving this light up really quickly, this overhead light, just so it's not in the frame. And so pretty much what I'm going to do is I'm just going to press C on my keyboard on the MoText little thing right here, right? The MoText, press C on your keyboard or right click, make editable. And what it'll do is basically click, once you click C or whatever, or make editable, it'll give you each of the letters on its own. And pretty much now you can just select the letter on its own, move it, and then kind of rotate it and have fun with it. So what I did in my example over here in Photoshop is I just kind of like, you know, twisted a little bit, just different ways and whatnot. And so really I'm just going to do the same thing here. And kind of just like have fun with it. And the reason why I put the picture in is just because I'm not like, I don't want to like freely kind of like just guess and like kind of like, you know what I mean? I kind of want to like give it a the attention it needs. Like that's what I feel like I'm trying to like give you guys. Like learn how to really interact with your banner design and really have fun with your banner design. I swear it's so much more fun when you like you have a plan. You know what I mean? It's like it's one of those things that I hardly see nowadays. So I just kind of want to just touch up on it and just give it the attention I feel like it honestly needs. And so I'm just gonna say like that will look pretty cool. Or if I really want to, kind of have the circle or the O like, because I'm gonna make this wheel go in front of the circle, right here, or the O, excuse me. But something like that will look pretty good. I'm gonna make the S come in like maybe like around here, and like something like that. That wouldn't look too bad. And just to give the text a little bit more fun, what I'm gonna go ahead and do is just take this out really quickly. Don't really need it in like all these drop downs. What I'm gonna do is just give it a simple little material here, like a nice little simple like soft gray with a reflection on it with 3 blurriness, because we're also gonna put a sky in there. And so pretty much dry the material on here, put this projection on cubic and seamless, and what I'm gonna do is Control C B, and what I'm gonna go ahead and do is I'm just gonna basically shift click on all these little letters here, or control click on each one if you want to. But if you just click on the first one, hold shift, click on the last little motext you have there, it'll select all of them at once. And so pretty much I'm going to caps, fillet cap, and we're just going to give the radius a like 0.7 on both of them. And what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm just going to move my camera for a second, and I'm going to go ahead and just select each letter and move it back a bit. And the reason why I'm selecting each letter is because if you do them all at once, you're not going to move actually like perfectly back. Like if I just show you with the S and the O, if I try to move them both back at once, as you can see, it gets out of line. So I think just do each one on its own. And then pretty much you get something like this. All right, what I'm going to do actually is just make a nice little blue like that, and then like just take this blue and throw this on the actual over ones, just like that. And if I really want to do something like cool, let's just say like for this one S right here, I'll make this one orange. Let's just see what happens. I'm just gonna go with it out of the out of the way. Let's go out of the way for it. Why not? And make sure I have these on cubic seamless, and I'm just kind of like matching the color scheme around everything else around here. And like maybe this S can be a different color. Like I see orange, I have orange, I have blue, I see like what other color, like kind of like a green kind of going on here, so why not just try green? Right, alright, and we're just going to put that on the other S. And it's just things you can just go about doing. I don't want to really go into much about this, but if I just render it out really quickly, this is kind of what I'm going to have right now. And it does not look that bad at all, right? So, yeah, look at that. Not bad. So, alright, pretty much what I'm going to go ahead and do now is I'm just going to go ahead and actually just throw in one little simple light, just so I can have like, a little more light and not too much with the intensity here. And let's just see what it looks like again. Yeah, that's perfectly fine. Alright, so pretty much when you're done with the background, you don't want to see it anymore. When you render it out also in like your other one where like you want to have it like, something like this, right? Or excuse me, something like this. If you don't want to see the background anymore, obviously you do not want to, and you want to render it out, just make sure you just hide it either by just double clicking on both these little circles here and then rendering it out. And also make sure your alpha channel is selected. I'm going to tilt. I have it on tilt. I'll put it number 5. But I'm just going to render this out, and I'm going to show you guys what it looks like inside Photoshop, right? Alright guys, so the render is all completed. The screenshot and the text are both inside Photoshop. If you guys were wondering what the dimensions are, it's just a simple Twitter header dimension like always, 1500 by 500 pixels, and it's just like, I just like to use this for presentation purposes, so no real reason, or no real dimension for the banner design unless like what you're doing for the banner design. If it's like, I don't know, a desktop background, it's gonna be like, whatever your desktop background dimensions are, and like something like Twitter would be 1500 by 500, something like YouTube, you have to get like something like a template, something like that. So just, I get a lot of people who get really frustrated when I don't say the banner's dimension, just because it's a banner design. You gotta, whatever the banner that you're doing is, you have to know what the dimensions are. So let that be known, because I get a lot of frustrated people. I'm like, guys, it's not always what I have, okay? It's just so you know. All right. So I do have my screenshot inside Photoshop already. I have a Rocket League Photoshop screenshot, excuse me. And with the text here, it's all rendered out, all that cool stuff. And pretty much, I just want to show you guys this cool little simple trick, right? I want to show you guys something how to do like this, where it's very cool layering, with just like kind of having your text be interactive with the background itself, and having the text be also 3D just makes it just a lot more fun and a lot more believable. And it's just like really, really easy to do. And I did this kind of like with my first ever tutorial where I kind of like show you guys the layering with the forest and stuff. This goes around the same thing. And if you guys are really wondering how to make like a really fun, how would you call it? I would just really say it's more of a, like an action banner design, like an action gameplay banner design. What I did to look up these images, I put Rocket League action gameplay. I put Call of Duty action gameplay, Overwatch action gameplay, and in Google, just to like kind of figure out like where I want to like, so I can actually scroll through these, these galleries of photos and kind of like find one that kind of like really captures me and see if I can do things what I'm going to do in this little bit of the tutorial. So pretty much what I'm going to do is automatically I'm going to have a background, right? My background's going to stay what it is. I can lock it if I really want to, if I don't want to move it. Just so you guys understand that it's never ever going to move. The background is never ever going to move. What you're going to be actually doing is making duplicates of the background itself. So for this instance, I'm going to go ahead and Control J, which is the shortcut for duplicating your layer in Photoshop. And pretty much just going to lock this layer down, just so I make sure I cannot move it. Alright, so pretty much with this new little copy here, I'm just going to throw this above my text. As you can see, it gets rid of the text, nothing you can really see. So I'm going to say to myself, what do I want to really pop out of the text? And my example, I had the S, this little orange car get in front of the S, and kind of like just get rid of I got rid of the S a lot in the like little preview that I did, but I just want this car to be in front of this S. The way I'm going to do that is pretty much a simple layering technique, right? So I'm going to say to myself, I'm going to have to start somewhere really, really obvious, right? So I'm going to press P on my keyboard, which is the shortcut for the pen tool, and I want to make sure that this part, right, this right here, is in front of this letter right here. If I really want to, I can just lower the opacity down. It's going to be the same exactly. You're going to be able to see what's on the bottom, because also the background is the screenshot as well. So if you just lower your opacity, you can do that as well. Just like so I can show you like what I'm talking about. So I want to make sure that this part right here, I'm just gonna like simply pen tool it, just like this part is all in front of this little S here. So pretty much what we're gonna be doing is kind of like going through and making sure that we get this pretty good. I don't have to start from all the way up here really either. I can start from like right here if I really want to. And pretty much you're just gonna go through this and do it as well, as good as possible. I'm just gonna do it pretty fast just because I'm not trying to like waste too much of you guys' time. But just to understand, I'm gonna make sure I just get this looking as good as possible, just like something like that, something right here. And I gotta make sure I do this part really well around where the S is actually going to be. That way it doesn't look, it looks believable. I want it to look believable and just really cool looking. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take this point, a little anchor point, and kind of just, that's perfectly fine for now. So this is all I really need to be cutting out right now. I started from this point right here, and I ended right here, because what I want to focus on is making sure that this is cut out. So once I'm done with this, what I can really do, I can honestly just go all the way to the outside of the banner design. I'll go all the way, follow from the outside of the banner design. Right, I'm all the way over here. I'm going to move more over here, and then connect it. The reason why I don't have to actually go through the entire car and like pen tool it out is just because the background is the same exact thing. So if I were to cut out, if I didn't pen tool this out, even if I cut it out, right? If I right click, make selection. If your Photoshop ever does this to you guys, if you guys can't actually right click, make selection, all you have to do is go to paths. It's going to be under your paths as well. You can press Control, and you can just click on the work path. Sometimes it just freezes. Photoshop just wants to mess up. Sometimes when you can't click in the path, that's how you get. It's a simple little fix if you guys didn't know that. So basically now I can rasterize this layer so I can delete things. But I don't have this cut out perfectly. But if I press delete on my keyboard, which you see right here on the thumbnail, it gets rid of it. But since I didn't pencil this out perfectly, it does not matter because it's the same exact picture behind it. But as you can see now, we have the actual car in front of the S. But now what's going on here is the O is not being able to be seen as perfect. So what I want to go ahead and do is press Control click on the text. And also we're going to rasterize the text. Do we need to rasterize the text? We do not need to rasterize the text. Pretty much what I'm going to go ahead and do now is, if you guys did not know this little trick, if you have things selected, right, what I want to do is I want to select this O on its own, but it's obviously in a layer where there's other words in them or other letters in them. So pretty much if I want to select only the O, all you have to do is press Q on your keyboard, which brings up basically your masking tool. If I use my brush right here, right, It's going to give you a black and white brush. If you use a black brush and just cover over with a hardness brush, right? Just cover over everything but the O. Make sure everything else is red but the O, right? So now everything else is red but the O. If I press Q one more time, it's going to just only select the O. It's a very little simple trick I actually learned in school. And that's just how you get rid of it. So basically what I can do now is take this little layer that we actually took from the background image, copied it, took out this car, and just press delete on our keyboard with the O actually cut out now. So basically, now you get this little image where the actual car is in front of the S and looks really, really cool and fun and epic. And it kind of like, you know, it just fools your brain a little bit. It's just like, oh, that's really dope. How did he get his letters inside the picture almost? And that's how you do it. So pretty much now, if I wanted to do it again, just all I got to do is unlock the layer, Control J to make a duplicate. Lock this layer again, and I want to pencil this car out right here. Like this part of the car I want to have like the O in front of as well. I'm just going to go ahead, go into it. I don't have to start from like I don't have to do the entire car. Always remember that. Just like where the focus of the letter is. And the letter's like right here, right? So I'm just going to go ahead, make sure I pencil this out pretty well on this side. Right? And, oops. If you guys don't know how to use the pencil that well, if you want to move points, I'm just holding Control, and I select the point on its own. If I just want to go back to my point, all I have to do is hold Alt, select the point again, and then I can start going again and clicking around. If you guys ever want to, you know, like little curves, I'll do like a nice little curve right here. All you have to do is click and then drag up. So drag up is going to give you guys a curve that's going to go upward, of course, right? If I hold Control, you can select each of these little anchor points and then move them separately. So you kind of like get like a nice smoother transition, like you can like smooth out the curve a little bit. So I wanted to like follow this perfectly, right? Press Alt, you know, to bring back to your little point here, and I can keep going, right? So I don't really need to do this part really that well. So I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna go ahead and now actually finish it, right? So what we did last time was we just went outside, we clicked outside, we went all the way around. I'm gonna make sure to go all the way around because we don't want to cut through where we're gonna actually be able to be seeing, and we're just gonna connect it just like so. And I'm going to rasterize this layer, that way I can actually delete things. Go to my path, either right click, make selection, or go to path, press Control, and select the thumbnail. And pretty much you can just go ahead and press delete on your keyboard now. And what this will do is bring out the little O, and it's going to actually be able to see that the actual car is in front of the O as well. And it's just really, really simple like that. If I wanted to do more and more and more, I can do more and more and more, right? I can do, I don't know, bring this car in front of this, and things like this is just kind of like what you got to look for, though. You can't really find pictures like this unless you really dig and look for them. And I would, like I said, if I were to try to Google these, it would be, you know, enter name here, action screenshots or action, you know, whatever. It would be a really, really harsh thing to find if you're just putting in like, you know, Overwatch or Call of Duty, because it's not going to really give you what you guys are looking for. So just making sure you put that little action word, which, you know, is action or some kind of gameplay. You can get really fun, you know, like really fun things that you can actually put in front of text, like move them in between. It's just a really cool thing. So kind of like this video was just me really, I just really wanted to, I love to be able to do these kind of videos. I do not do these videos very often at all. It's kind of like more of an informational video, kind of like just giving you guys all these little different hints, making you guys think, and it's just like really fun for me. I don't know if you guys like these kind of videos. Please leave a like. Please like smash the hell out of the like button if you guys really like these kind of videos. I'm just gonna go on with it and kind of like just give you guys the ideas, like pour out ideas, little hints. If you guys don't know what things in Photoshop, Cinema 4D, things like that, please let me know. If not, it's all good. It was a really fun video for me. It's refreshing for me. So thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you guys so much for watching. Do not forget 200 likes on the video equals a secret down below, which I will give you guys the PSD of this right here, which is kind of like, you know, my first example, where I kind of like put a little light and stuff into it, just a little more love into this one. But you can go ahead and just, you know, figure out the PSD. You can open up the group and like figure out all the little layers that I did and kind of like, you know, self-teach yourself as well, which is also a really, really great thing to do. And so thank you guys so freaking much. Do not forget to follow me on Twitter at SystemHQ. Don't forget to check out my Selfie, selfie.com/SystemHQ for any premiums and packs as low as $3. I thank you guys so much. What am I at? I'm at 56.6K. That's awesome. Thank you guys so freaking much. I love every last one of you guys. And let me know when you guys start school back up. I am on my last month. I'm on my last 3 weeks till I go back to college, and then I'll be able to graduate, and then we go to a different college because that's what we do out here. All right. Thank you guys so much. Honestly, I'll talk to you guys later. So switch you out. Peace.